So I'm sitting here eating dinner and I was like, well, I'm just gonna post a video. I've been working on recording for the staring, um, the introduction of staring at the fire, and I posted a video of it, but the lighting and stuff was bad, and it was kind of like my run through. So um, I'm gonna record it a couple different ways, but I wanted to talk on here about like kind of why I did all of this. While I'm eating my dinner, we're gonna have dinner with steak. So I'm sitting at the computer. I want to do like zooms about how I became the next franchise author, or how I didn't, but how I tried. So don't mind me. So most of my life I spent working in healthcare. I kind of go over that all the time. So you very much write what you know. When you're like, what should I write? What should I write? You write what you know. Now, I also wanted to write what I wanted to read, what I wanted to read when I grow up. So most of the books focused around um, me trying to find like the ones that got away and like my one true love, and kind of chasing rabbit holes with games with friends on the internet. And I kind of got away of like what I really initially wanted to write about, which was like change in healthcare without um, 1 second. So I really spent a lot of time of thinking how it's possible. A big part of my um, last job that I had in healthcare was trying to figure out problems and fix them, essentially. So I did a lot of training, learning about people, finding who was the problem, and sometimes it's training, and sometimes it's this, sometimes it's that, sometimes it's this. But anyway, so a lot of times what you find is that sometimes there are problems that you just can't fix. It's just things that you have to do, you have to struggle with. You know, when you're hiking in a mountain and you're halfway through the mountain, you have to finish. You can't just stop. Or if you turn around and then it'll be haunting. You'll just be like, man, why didn't I finish the mountain? So that's kind of what I'm at with my books. And recently I wrote like the ending. I wrote like a really big scene for all of my guardians. I wrote my vision for healthcare. I wrote like why like I wrote everything to where I'm done. Now I can add to it and make it better, but I wrote like what I want to do. So I'm actually just gonna say it now because I think it's fun. I like spoilers because it helps me build. So for me, it's like my spoiler. Now, will it ever happen? No. Do I think that us as like uh, as people that we could like obtain this? 100%. I don't think it's far off from what we're doing because 3 years ago I knew what everything was going on, and we are 100% closer to obtaining something like this, especially now with the way that health operates. Healthcare is like this now. It's Zoom. You get a phone number and you call your doctor and you sit with your doctor in your living room and you talk to your doctor. So the future of healthcare is changing. A big thing that's a big goal is keeping people out of the hospital. And what so a something that there are things, mental health, addiction, and poverty, that you're not going to get treatment at a hospital for. You can't go to a doctor, you can't get a treatment. Doctors are trying to figure out how to fix those problems because those problems are the problems that are stopping from better overall health outcomes. So, how do you fix those things, mental health, addiction, and poverty? How do you fix them is the big question. So that's kind of what I set on my journey. I didn't want a career job. I wanted writing to really be my career. So I wasn't there. There are jobs that require a lot of energy. And with my mom being sick, I just decided I was going to do a job that I found enjoyable. So I made coffee and I just kind of stayed there. I I like investing in companies, and so that's why I stayed there. But while I was there, I thought about how to improve both worlds. In my imaginary world of sitting in my living room, I'm somebody, I literally like will just lay in bed and be like, how can I send good vibes to this person and what can I do? And I try to be that person. Sometimes I'm not the best a friend and I need to reach out more and I need to do more. I need to call more people. I need to be more available. And then I just get caught up and they're like, what are you doing? I'm like, I am working on my manifesto. I'm trying to free the people. And I'm just sitting eating taters. So something that I thought would be is wouldn't it be cool if we had like a second hospital? A second hospital that was just for recovery. And I'm not talking recovery from like nursing homes. I'm talking just recovery, mental health recovery, addiction recovery, trauma recovery, things that aren't blood and bullets, but feel like it and you need a place to go. Also, developing a workforce, getting those um, getting those patients who need to be trained and developed, and then you find people who sometimes you get stuck in a cycle and you just have nobody to reach out and help you up, and then you create an environment where you're reaching out, you're picking people up, and you make this environment so you go, okay, come in as you are. We don't care about your prior work history. We don't care if you anything that makes you not hireable. We don't care. And we're going to hire you. We're going to help you build your resume. We're going to give you jobs that we feel you're capable of within a second hospital environment. We're going to give you a place to stay, set up like a hotel, and create places where people from the main hospital can go shopping while giving jobs to fully capable people who need to get back in the workforce. A lot of the reasons why you find yourself in addiction and a mental health cycle and those things lead to a more dangerous lifestyle, the reason why you end up in those places to A, find money, two, no other choice, three, you just that's just the luck of the draw, and but then what happens is you get stuck there and you can't ever get out. You're stuck there. Nobody, you already got a stigma. You're already somebody who we think you're this, or you're attached to somebody like that. So now you're carrying the stigma with you everywhere. And it, it's really easy to all of a sudden not be, the darling. It's easy to do that. But what happens when you create an environment within the healthcare system that is not far from something that's obtainable, and even you can outsource you make partnerships, and you create an environment where people are learning to get out. You give just as we have behavioral health specialists now, how we have addiction specialists, you create financial advisors, somebody who comes in and says, okay, you're going to be making this amount of money. This is how you need to save. This is how you need to bank. And then you create that. So instead of, okay, we need to put you on this medicine, you need to go see this facility. They're going to set you up with a good job that's going to give you a good living. They're going to set you up with that. You're also going to get a support system. You're going to get a care team. somebody's going to come in and go over your health history. Then that care team member will find what other resources you need, be in contact with physicians, and this can all be paid for by insurances with different laws. It's really not that. And then you have to make money. That's how the world runs, on money. And then on top of that, now people have a community. And I'm going to go into in this book, and this is why I'm focusing here. They do something like this called Phoenix, out in Colorado. It's called Phoenix Sports. I'm going to get it right because I documented it. But they do an endurance recovery for addiction. So you can partner with things like that. You can create more things like that. And they have like, because addiction, relapse is the number one thing with addiction. Almost all addictions relapse. There's always something that you go back and you fight with. So my books will focus more on around the establishing the plot lines in my story, and then what are we going to do to fix it? We know the problems. What are we going to do to fix it? And for me, I have been put in a unique situation that only I know what I've learned, only I know the people I've met, and I know my experiences. And I know that you can't ever take that from me. And I get older and I get stronger and I wise up. Essentially, I, you know, I carry all this stuff with me, and for me, you know, it would be something, if I don't like just spread the word, like just think about it. It's something that could easily be done. And right now it could easily be done within the structures that are already in place. With the way that Zooms are, most of it can be done remote or set up in different places. And I wrote extensively about it that one day I'll share. But that was my little chat for my before I start reading. Um, I'm gonna finish my dinner.